You airbrushed the body and hair and then started with the brush? Ah, very good. Well, when there's a time bagger, I should have some more 5 or 6 inch prize goblin statuettes printed up again. And if that's something that you'd be willing to pick up, I'd love to see the job that you could give our prize goblin. But that will be a bridge to cross when we get there. Um, we have finally a character creation stream. It was cursed for Vampire the Masquerade. I didn't get to do it. And I felt bad. Maybe I can have a makeup VTM character creation session sometime. I don't know when. Maybe it'd be Thanksgiving. It'd be around Thanksgiving because what a feast. But hello to any of us watching in the future on YouTube. Let's talk about Call of Cthulhu. Now, I do have... I have several sources here to which I will direct you if you want to build a character. Obviously, if you have a friendly local game store, please do go out and get yourself a printed official copy of the game. Your local store, I'm sure, will appreciate it. And you're going to find that this book isn't too difficult to go through. It's very well written out. Plenty of examples, not just here's the rules and we're going to leave it to you to interpret. There's kind of an ongoing story that's written throughout it that gives examples of what you're finding in each chapter. Some really great art in here too. And in addition to the quick start rules, which if you get the printed version, there are stores that might still have the printed version. I want to say it's about $10 for the booklet. So support your store that way. The quick start rules are, unless something changes, free on DriveThruRPG. And you also can get character sheets as a part of all of these as well. But I do want to draw attention to one more source beyond the quick start rules and the keeper rule book. There is also an investigator handbook, and that has many more options. Expansions of ideas and such for investigators. It's not necessary. You can build a character with just the one book, and it's fine. But if you want more options, or to go a little bit more in depth, or to do just something else, then there's the investigator book too. All right, Jericho. Yep, send me a message about it, and we can talk about it. Thank you for hanging out, my friend. But there is also a website over here, and I am going to give you the site for it in chat right up above here. And right here in the Call of Cthulhu RPG wiki, this can take you through how you go about it. And there's a couple different considerations. We'll get into it. But this is a skill-based system and a percentile system. So there are many different skills, and most of your rolls for accomplishing or fumbling things is done through a set of percentile dice. And if you have, let's say your score is 60 in something, you have a 60% chance to accomplish that thing. And it could be more if there's a particular modifier or a bonus, things that we got into with the game rules. Anyway, those videos, you can find those, and you can also ask if you're live with us. I can't help you too much live if you're watching on YouTube. Stop by the channel sometime when we're streaming. I'd be happy to help. But for those of you live right now, if you have questions, let me know, and we can poke through the books. So you can build online here if you go to Dole's House. But on the site, because this is a nice big screen here for you, let's go over these basics. And we'll expand upon it in the books. To begin, a Call of Cthulhu character has 8 characteristics. Similar D&D, you have 6. You have 6 attributes, right? Strength, Dex, Con, Wiz, Int, Wiz, Charisma. Here, we have Strength, which measures your raw physical power. Your Constitution, which is your health and hardiness. Your Power, which is a combination of force of will, spirit, and mental stability. And in this game, that is a relevant stat. Dexterity is your physical agility and speed. Appearance is the physical appeal of your character. Your size reflects your investigator's combined height and weight. And there's some rules interactions for grappling and even some other things if you want to do some interesting maneuvers, just navigating through or around or under, as opposed to just battle. Intelligence is a rough measure of your investigator's cunning and ability to make leaps of logic and intuition. And your education is a measure of the knowledge that your investigator has accumulated through formal education.
Yes.
Heroes Ahoda, he just got back from seeing Amaranthian Dragon Force live. Amazing show.
Oh, wow. Well, all of you out there, can you give Woden... can you throw up some horns for Woden getting back from a concert? Now, I'm familiar with Dragon Force. What kind of music does Amaranth play? Or perform, or, whatever. So education is a measure of the knowledge that your investigator has accumulated through formal education or the venerated School of Hard Knocks. Now, this would be similar to the standard array in Dungeons and Dragons. 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. Allocate the following values where you like among these 8 characteristics. 40, 50, 50, 50, 60, 60, 70, 80. Each of these values is a percentage number. So deciding to put 70 into your investigator's strength means they have strength 70. An above average score, meaning they're quite strong. Write down the numbers on the investigator sheet in the large box by each of the characteristics. We call these the regular characteristic values. Melodic metal. Okay. Looking at the investigator sheet, this is talking about the half and fifth values. And if we zoom in a little bit, let me make this a wee bit larger. You see half and fifth. Looking at the investigator sheet, you will see that there are 3 boxes next to each characteristic. A large box in which you have just written the numbers for that characteristic, and then 2 smaller boxes to the side. The top smaller box is for the half value, and the lower box is for the fifth value. To work out the half value of a characteristic, simply have the number you choose to allocate to the characteristic, rounding that value down to the nearest whole number if necessary. For example, if you chose strength 70, the half, or the hard value, would be 35. To work out the fifth value, divide the regular value by 5, again rounding down as required. For example, with a strength 70, the fifth, an extreme value, would be 14. And then write those in. And in the books and everything, there is a very handy-dandy chart for all these numbers, so you don't have to think too much about it. Now, Bersilis, are you still here with us? Hey, Hunter. Good to see you. Is this a new name? Ah. Well, I'll tell you what, Hunter. Let's go through this in our step-by-step. Would you type exclamation point 1d8 into chat for me? And what we'll do is randomly assign the values, starting with 40 and working our way up. Gotcha. Well, if you have a moment, exclamation point 1d8. Five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our size is 40. And you'll see on these freely provided PDFs, it will auto-calc. It'll auto-calc this for you. But there's also the charts to reference. Bane, would you please roll a... Do I have a 1d7? I don't know if I do. Bane, would you also roll 1d8 in chat for me, please? And let's find out where this 50 is going. And I guess if it's an 8, then it's your choice. Almost. 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're down to 6. Woden. Woden, unless you're exhausted and need to do a faceplant into a pillow, may I please have a 1d6 roll in chat? It works better as a joke with a 66 roll, says Bane. Ah, I see. Ivalon! Ivalon, can I get a 1d6 roll in chat from you? Exclamation point 1d6. We'll get to it, but right now I just want to start assigning some numbers here. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, James Norse, if you're here, may I also have a 1d6 roll? Three. 1, 2, 3. All right, 40 and our 350s. We have two 60s, a 70, and an 80. Who else is hanging out? Jericho left. Bagger, if you're here, freestyle. If any of you are here and would like to roll, let me know and I can call on you in chat. Let's see. I will roll a 1d4 to place the next one here. Stops on a 4. Okay. One, two, three, 4. It may not end up being like that, Evelyn, as the skills are going to follow the character's concept more. Evelyn, I need a 1d3, please. Lands on a 3. All right. All right, no one else in chat is talking. I'm going to take the next one. I'm going to roll a 1d12 because 12s are not used in Call of Cthulhu, so I will find a use for one. Odds. The 70 goes in the first. Evens, it goes in the second. Odds. All right. So we have a 70 and an 80. There we go. Now, what's nice is all of this has been auto-calculated for you, including your hit points and your magic points. Wait, there's magic in this game? We did touch on it. Don't worry about that right now. Right now, what we did was this. Hey, DMP, good to see you. There are a number of attributes that are determined after you've worked out the investigator's characteristics. These are damage bonus and build, hit points, move rate, sanity, and magic points. Additionally, you will need to determine a luck value. We're having a good time. We're just getting going into our Call of Cthulhu character building workshop. So what is our damage bonus and build? Damage bonus is how much extra damage your investigator inflicts when making a successful close combat melee attack. Build is a scale of combined size and strength used when making a fighting maneuver. Add your regular strength and size characteristics together and consult the damage bonus and build table. You'll find boxes on the investigator sheet to write in the build and damage bonus values. And you say, well, damage bonus? I don't know. I don't think I've ever played with something like that before. If you've played Dungeons and Dragons, you absolutely have. What's your strength modifier that you add to swinging a club? And so if we see here, in this example, the strength is set to 60, size to 70s, totaling 130. When he makes a successful physical attack, he deals an extra 1d4 points of damage. His build is 1. So you see where it would fall here. So let's look at our strength and our size. Our strength is 70. Our size is 40. 110. 110 gives us no damage bonus. And we have a 0 build. Have a good night, DMP. Thank you for stopping by. So there's our build of 0 and our damage bonus of 0, which was auto-calculated. And here, with brawling, if we throw a fist, it's 1d3 damage plus our damage bonus, which we may be strong, but we don't have a lot of leverage. Maybe we're kind of like a Little Mac character from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Hit points are figured by adding size and con together, then dividing the total by 10 and rounding down to the nearest whole number. As your investigator takes damage from combat or other events, your hit points will drop. So example, size 50 and con 50 is 100, divided by 10 gives us 10 hit points. The investigator can suffer up to 10 points of damage before they fall unconscious and possibly die. We go back to our sheet because this was auto-calculated. 120. I got a bit of an itch in my beard. Size and con. 40 plus 80 is 120. Divided by 10, and there you go. All human characters have a move rate of 8. So as far as we know, we're human. Now wait, why is our move 9? We're human, right? Sanity points begins at a level equal to the investigator's power value. Fill in the box for sanity on the investigator sheet. The score is used as a percentile roll that presents your investigator's ability to remain stoic in the face of horror. As you encounter the monstrosities of the Cthulhu mythos, your sanity point score fluctuates. Power 40 gives a sanity value of 40. When making a sanity roll... Aw, thank you!
Hero and hat.
Jedi Prime Alex, hello and welcome to you. Thank you very much. So, we're going to begin... And we're gonna also, after delving into this, we're gonna touch into the quick start and the actual book. So it is good to point out, and we are we'll get to it. Yep. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you bringing it up. I have this up because this is like the super duper quick start rules. That's on a nice big web page that I can show off. But I have the books that are ready to bring up and to go over for a little bit more in-depth exploration of things. So we have a sanity of 40. Yay us. I'm sorry, power is 60. I was looking at size. We were talking about size up here. This is good. 60 is not the max, and we can also fall below it, but at least we're starting out with a sanity of 60. Magic points are 1/5 of power. We did touch on magic. It's not that you can't run Call of Cthulhu with magic. You can. It certainly is very taxing on a character's sanity and some other resources as well. So you might have magic points, you may never use them, as you may never find a spell, uncover it, or cast magic. Magic is not a requirement in a Call of Cthulhu game. Arguably, it would be way more accepted and almost expected at a Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, a similar game like that. It does exist in Call of Cthulhu, and it makes sense why magic would exist in Call of Cthulhu. but it's not a common, well, for a player character anyway. I'm sure you'll run into plenty of cultists who have well gone mad before meeting you in their casting of magics. Then luck. Calculate luck by rolling 3d6 and multiplying the result by 5. Bane, you were talking about rolling some d6s earlier. Bane, if you're still with us, could I get a 3d6 roll from you? Hey, Malice Conspiracy. Longest lived Call of Cthulhu character I had was well versed in magic, then summoned a creature and got eaten by it. And that's how magic works. We might have lost Bane. Malice Conspiracy, can you type exclamation point 3d6 in chat for me? Uh, 17. All right. 17, so times 5 is 85. So, well, we're pretty lucky. All right, then. Now, this is kind of like Sanity. This is a resource that you can spend for various reasons. And you can very much dip, in a sense, even permanently below the starting value. And you might find that your luck, your fortune, can actually increase above it. Yeah, luck. So luck, you don't have to play with it. I would say for a beginning game, it's not bad as a little bit of an insulator. But yeah, there's rules around it that you can go and read about. And of course, there's an example on the website here. At this point, you should form an idea of what your investigator does for a living. Remember, the term investigator does not restrict you to just being a cop or a private eye. This choice of occupation will influence the selection of skills available to your investigator. To begin with, choose an occupation. Anything you think would be interesting to play is valid, but you should agree this with your keeper. Some favorite occupations in Call of Cthulhu are professor, journalist, occultist, and archaeologist. The choice of occupation is only limited by your imagination. Either pick an occupation from the list following and use the specified list of skills provided, or tailor one to your requirements. To do this, decide upon an occupation, and then look at the list of skills on the investigator sheet. Then choose 8 skills that are appropriate for your investigator's chosen occupation. Ergo, what skills would a person doing this occupation require? These are your investigator's occupation skills. Use some scratch paper and note down your investigator's occupation skills. A brief description of the differing skills can be found here. Accounting, anthropology, arts and crafts, charm, climb. There's a lot here. And we can dip into it if we need to, but you can access it. I guess the... Stream Nova, thank you very much for the follow, and welcome to the Hero Zone. So here are some sample investigator occupations. Kragar is here. I was lurking, but I'll be headed off to bed in a second. Well, thank you for lurking as long as you did, Kragar. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kragar, before you take off, I don't know. Let's have some fun with this. We'll see if Evlon is right or not. Will you type exclamation point 1d8? I'm curious in how this is going to fit with our randomized distribution of attributes. But with the sample 8 that are here, lands on an 8. Okay. A professor. Oh, a professor of something, huh? And we're using the 1920s sheet. Now I specify that because there's something else I can get into here. So if we come over, we have library use. You know what? I'm going to scoot that over here. It might be a little off the screen for you, but this is going to make it easier for me. I'll put a check mark. Just keep things going. Other language and own language. Psychology. And any 4 other skills as academic or personal specialties. Armin, hello. Malice, they can be for sure. Maybe due to the narrative and possibly brutal nature of the consequences of damage to your mind or your body. It might play better as a series of short stories, but I'm absolutely confident you can have a long form game. Now, how long your investigator itself participates in it, though the circumstances of the cults and the mysteries, one thing leads to another. How long did Scooby-Doo run? If Scooby-Doo ran for as long as it did, your Call of Cthulhu game can also run for a while. Yeah, I'll get there, Evelyn. I'll get there. I'm doing things one at a time for this list, and we'll go into the books as well. We get 4 other skills. So I guess the question is, what kind of a professor are we? We have a high strength and a high con. We're pretty hale and hearty. I wonder if we're some kind of a what might be some kind of like a physical. Now, I don't know. That sounds a little biased. Though, I mean, Professor of Archaeology is like by default a steeped in Cthulhu career for sure. In fact, one of our players on Tuesday is as such. A professor of mafia enforcement. Well, I'm thinking. So we do have a teacher. What if this is actually someone who is more of a, what if we have like a martial artist? Someone who is actually very skilled. And is a professor, yes. But in this case is more of a, a black belt, an educator, and even a philosopher through that art. Nevada Jones and is a professor of archaeology. Yeah. So in that case, since we get 4 others that might be relevant, Most likely that would be what? Dodge, fighting brawl, possibly even, well, fighting brawl, maybe a weapon? I don't know. What would be two other things here that our martial artist might be good at doing? Maybe some kind of first aid. And you know what? I'm reminded of a book called Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Repair. And so in addition to being a highly trained martial artist here who teaches the physical form, maybe we also have mechanical repair as part of this. So Armin, you agree? All right. All right. So we have our our skills. Here we get into what they will most likely be called on to do. And if there's a parallel to something, there's that. You can go and read through these. It's not that they're uninteresting. There's just many of them because this is a skill-based system. And when you're building your character, think about that. Which skills would you like to start instilling in your character? So take a look at the skills, characteristics, and values you allocated to each. With a dash of imagination, you begin to get an idea of who this new character is. You might want to add notes on your investigator's background and personality as you decide them. Who are they really? Where did they grow up? What is their family like? The more time you spend thinking about your character, the more developed their personality becomes, and the more fun you will have when playing Call of Cthulhu. Oh, yeah, I sorry. I got myself distracted. Each backstory entry should be a short pithy statement. Think about how your character appears to others and write a brief entry in personal description. What does your investigator believe? Or what is their outlook on life? Write a sentence to sum up under ideology beliefs. What mannerisms do they have? Write down annoying habits and the like under traits. Don't worry about filling every entry on the back of the investigator sheet. Just 2 or 3 entries are enough to get you going. Final touches. Now, as Ivalon had pointed out, we haven't touched credit rating, a lot of things like that. We went through the 8 that we get. Now assign points to the skills on the investigator sheet. No player can add points to the Cthulhu Mythos skill during character creation, as it is assumed that all beginning characters are ignorant of the threat of the mythos. allocate the following values among the 8 occupation skills, and also the credit rating skill. 1 at 70, 2 at 60, 3 at 50, and 3 at 40. Set the skills directly to these values and ignore the skill base values written next to each skill on the investigator sheet. I did get to play it once, Malice Conspiracy. And I have heard many, many fun stories about paranoia as well. So let's do this. James, may I please have a... let's see, that's 3, 6, 8, 9. May I have a... we'll start with the low numbers like we did before. 2D8, please. Or no, oh wait, no, hang on. That should be... I suppose we should do a 1D9 first, because there is that 9th, and then we can winnow it down from there. So I'm sorry, James, 1D9 for me, please. And we're going to put a 40 in. Oh, a 10! You got a 10 on a D9. Congrats. James, where, including credit rating, are we putting our 40%? Credit rating is our income, effectively. So that's kind of a wealth level. James, it's your choice. Of our 8 skills and credit rating, where would you like to put a 40? Credit rating, dodge, fighting brawl, first aid, language other, language own, library use, mechanical repair, or psychology. All right. Ivalon, 2D8, please. And you're going to assign the next two 40%. A 3 and a 9. So the 9 is going to be your choice. Ivalon, this is Call of Cthulhu. Why are you questioning this? So one is going to go into the... one of our 40s is going to go into the 3. So we have credit rating 1, 2, 3. Oh, interesting. And then you get your choice of our other 40%. Where's it going? We have credit rating, dodge, either language, library use, mechanical repair, or psychology. And in this person, sure, no problem. Now we have 350s. So, Malice Conspiracy, will you please roll 2... Alright, let's do it this way. 3d6! Exclamation point 3d6. 1, 6, 1. Okay. One. The 6 is we don't have that, but we'll just cycle it around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, And then 1 will cycle back to language other. And then we'll have a high or a low here. The 60. Let's see, who's hanging out? Armin, are you still here? Maybe not. I'll take the 1d12. And lands on a 5. Odds, so the 60's going in the first. All right, then. We know mechanical repair, for sure. We are a very good mechanic here. I think there's a lot of people talking about being a mechanic is the book was good and other things there too. So we have our 8 skills and our credit rating. Now we did kind of randomize it, but it can work. We can figure out who this person is. After assigning points to the occupation skills, select your investigator's personal interest skills. These are skills that your character has acquired outside of work. Pick 4 non-occupation skills and boost them by 20%, adding 20 to the skill base values listed next to the skills on the investigator sheet. We recommend that you write your skill values down in the same format as your characteristics, regular half-fifth, as you'll need to refer to these during the game. Of course, if you prefer, you can just write the full value of each skill and do the math in your head during the course of the game. So you'll see that we have some that have a percentage next to it, right? These are skills that your character has acquired outside of work. Pick 4 and boost them by 20. So, we have the concept is a professor. Not sure which 2 languages he or she speaks, but we're good at looking stuff up in a library. We can speak 2 languages. We know some first aid in case, I don't know, we crush our fingers in an engine. We're good for a fight. We're good for dodging, because if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. And our credit rating, we're hanging in there. So I wonder, what are some other skills? We have an art or a craft, a charm, climb. Actually, how many are there here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, huh? Oh, was it, did I miss that? Thank you. I suppose we can always do this too. $20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Locksmith. Ah, all right. So we have a 21 locksmith. Then we have a 24. Persuade. And I'm gonna deselect these. This is for leveling up your character. It's a note that your skill could possibly increase. One, two, three, four, five. Oh, we get an art and or craft. The creation, making, or repair of an item, which could be artistic, like painting or singing, or craft, like woodwork or cookery. Choose a suitable specialization and write this in the space provided in the sheet. Okay. So yeah, we can we have an art or a craft. Now we are good at mechanical repair. That's a very specific craft. But this could be something else. This could be painting. This could be singing. What would our character here? Let's see. We're very good at mechanical repair. And we're very good at library use, at researching as well. And psychology, understanding maybe the flow of things, the feng shui, which itself could be an art. Feng shui can produce luck, Ivalon, or don't you know? Well, I think welding would fall in mechanical repair, James. I mean, I'm sure there's artistic welding. It could be sculpting, yeah. It could be sculpting out of clay to cast parts, or to just do design. That could work out. There we go. Okay. Ba-ba-da-ba-bum. My story, backstory, personal description, ideology. This character, as manifested in mechanical terms here, may be different between each of you. You might see him or her in different ways. Now, I'd probably have new people fill in the other values as default, just to get the sheet to calculate the half-fifth, the half-fifth values. Ooh, pardon me, sorry. Yeah, like if you go to appraise, right, and you type that in. Hey, there we go. And so ask yourself the questions of this character. Who is he or she? What can this person do better than other things? How would you run this character, or especially if you're doing this as an exercise to come up with, well, what kind of a story could I tell with a character like this? How could I involve the character? But there are modifiers for age and some other things too, and we'll get to that. But we did a very quick, quick conceptually. I know we're doing a lot of back and forth in chat and having it be interactive. But we did a very, just sort of a wham bam thank you ma'am go over of the character sheet. And what I want to do, I'm gonna get up and stretch for a moment. When we come back, we're going to open the other books, and we're gonna get a little bit deeper dive into things. Something that will be a little bit more laid out than just the list that you see here. So give me a moment. I'm gonna stretch a little bit, and I promise I'll be back here very shortly. And let's open the books and get a little bit more in depth.